Okay, so here's another problem in mathematics. Did you miss me? I hope you did. So let's go now to our story. Here's another word problem I would like to tell. Aya Amos surveyed 60 people in church for what is their favorite new book in the New Testament. Okay, so I know, remember just what I mentioned. It's just like in our lesson right now in mathematics that involves survey. So there's a population, and then you survey, and then we gather information. So as Aya Amos made the frequency distribution table, 15, as in 1/5 of them, prefer the book of Matthew. 10 of them prefer the 2 books of Corinthians. 20 of them prefer the book of John. And the rest of the people have a duplicated amount, like the story of Mark, Luke, and Acts. And based on the information he gets, he records them in a typical pie chart. Help him solve for the circumference, area, and percentage of every sector using 13 meters as the diameter. Okay, so ganito class. In this problem, this involves the application of sum per word problems in pie charts. So you're gonna have to get a survey, bunch of survey, and then make an angle degree of sector, and then solve for the perimeter and area of the sector. That one is very easy. So let's see how it will go. Okay? Okay, so ganito kasi yung chart. Di ba, remember, here's the chart of all the information that we got. So remember, we make a chart that represents the chart of everything. Kasi ang sabi dito sa word, it says here that we surveyed 60 people in church. So that's our base. There are 60 people involved in the survey. Then based on the information he got, 15 of them prefer the book of Matthew. So as you can see though, this is the chart, di ba? People, for everyone, there are 60 people. For Matthew, there are 15. And then the 2 Corinthians, there are 10. Then 5 of them prefer Acts. Alright, what you call this? And then for John, there are 20. So what did we do to get the rest? Ganito yung paraan. So we know we're supposed to get 5 in all the others. Like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Acts. And why did we get 5? Because, di ba, remember, ganito yung formula. Ito yung ginawa ko. Ang ginawa ko ay, sinam ko yung ganito. I did this. 360 minus the sum of all the 3 that were given. Which is from the book of Matthew, book of John, and book of the 2 Corinthians. And then from there, you get your answer, right? Which is 5. But you have to divide that by 2. Divide it by 3. Tama? So you're gonna have to divide that, alright? And that's your answer, diba? Yes, so that's exactly what you did. So what you did here is, you did this. You did the operation first. Kasi nga nakita mo, yung may parenthesis, that's the one we grouped, diba? We summed this first. That's the inner parenthesis. And then on the outer parenthesis, that's the one we have to simplify. Then the last step, we have to divide by 3 because they're equal. So hence, there are only 5 people that prefer that. And then to get the angle, you know already how to get the angle. To get the angle of every sector, you know already what to do. The formula goes like this, as stated. The number of people within that specific category divide by the total number of people to give you the percent. Tama? So we know that in percent, it's supposed to be 1. Tama? And then this is the constant formula that we've been doing. Ito yun. And we applied it to all the rest. So this one, divide by this cell, dapat nakalock yan. And then what you call this, times this one to give you the percent. So yun. And we did it for all the rest. And when we sum this up all together, we should get 1. And if we get the sum as 1, we are correct. Kaya always remember to double check on your formulae. Now, if you were to get the angle of the sector, same pa rin. Divide, and then multiply it by 360 to get the angle of every sector. So in short, it should be like this. Okay? That's the angle of every sector. Yan. Now, if you were to draw this in a pie chart, it would look like this. Ganito kasi yung mangyayari. Yan. So your pie chart will look like this. So for Matthew, it's 90 degrees. So tingnan mo yung angle, naka 90 degrees siya. For angle 2, that's 30 degrees. So hati-hati lang. Yan. That's 30 degrees. Same with sector 3. And then yung pinaka-large sector ay yung John, which is 120 degrees. That's why naka-obtuse angle siya. And then number 5, it's the same with angles sectors 2 and 3. Then sector 6 is 60 degrees. So yun yung pie chart namin. Now, to get the circumference, it's very easy. How do you get the circumference? It's very easy. To get the circumference of one circle, we always do 3.14 times the diameter. It says the diameter measures 13 meters. So therefore, it's 3.14 times 13, which gives you the product of 40.82 cm. Now, what we need to do is to get the circumference of every circle. To get the circumference of the sector of the circle, it's this formula. For example, di ba remember sa Matthew, we need to do this. Remember pi times the diameter and then multiplied by the angle specified. So it's like this, di ba? So ganito siya. To get the curve part, it's like this. So ito yung naka-curve. The curve is like this. 3.14 times 13 times the diameter, then times, what's the D122? That's 90 divided by 360. Yes, you have to multiply that by 90 over 360. And then lock it in. And you should get this answer. Then you work this out for all the rest, just like that. Tingnan mo work this out for all the rest. Then when you reach the last part, you sum everything up. Click on the sum, type sum, and then click on all the values. And if you get the total area, like you see up there, you are correct. Like, did you get 40.82 square meters? You did get it. That's for the curved part. Now, if you want to get the circumference of the circle, you need to add the two radii together. To add the two radii together, you need to do this. Ganito yung paraan. Click on the cell, just like that, and then add it with the diameter. Madali lang yan. Pero since it's a sector of circle, add it within the two radii. Yun lang. And then to get the area of the circle, madali lang yan. Remember, the area of one circle is pi times the radius squared. Pero this is for the whole circle. So it's 3.14 times the radius squared, which is 6.5. Tama? 6.5 is our radius. Because if the diameter is 13, and then we multiply it by the same, identically. So we get this answer. And then to get the area of every sector of the circle, it's always 3.14 times the radius squared, then times the angle that you want, divide by 360. So yun yung ginawa namin. Yes, so yun talaga yung ginawa namin. In this formula, what we did here is, ganito yun. Pi 3.14, this one. I click this one first, which is the area of one whole circle. Tama? That's pi times radius squared. And then times the diameter times the angle that you want, and then divide by 360. And then we drop it down for everything, and then when we sum it up, we ensure that we get the same formula. Another thing that you can do here is the radian formula. If you were to use the radian formula is 1/2 times the radius squared times the angle that you want times pi divided by 180. So yun, ganito yung mangyayari. Okay? So it's the product of 1/2, then 6.5 squared times, why did I say 360 there? Because, kasi nga remember that's the entire circle. That's the angle that I want. Then times 3.14 divided by 180. That's for everything. Then for the rest, we do the same formula. Yun. And then that's it lang. And that's how you do the pie chart. Cheers!